Hey everyone! So in my last video, I asked you guys if you wanted me to show you how I made my marshmallow fondant that I used for my friend's golden birthday cake, and you guys want to see, so here I am to show you how I did it. I like using marshmallow fondant because it's really easy to make. It's kind of messy, but it's generally pretty easy to make. You don't need that many ingredients, and it actually doesn't taste that bad. Fondant always gets a bad rap for tasting bad. And I've actually had like decent store-bought fondant before, but marshmallow fondant is nice because it already tastes good, so. Alright, let's get started. The ingredients you'll need are 1/4 cup of softened butter, 1 10-ounce package of miniature marshmallows, 2 tablespoons of water, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and or any other flavorings to taste. I used about a tablespoon of concentrated coffee, food coloring if desired, and about 8 cups of sifted confectioner's sugar. Coat a microwavable bowl with butter. This step is probably skippable, but it's to help the marshmallows not stick so much to the bowl. I feel like the marshmallows probably wouldn't stick too badly onto glass, which is what I use all the time when I'm microwaving stuff, but I always end up buttering the bowl anyway. If anyone else has experience with this, please let me know. Throw the marshmallows in the bowl, along with the water, and microwave for 30 seconds. Mix them up and then pop them back into the microwave for 30 more seconds. They should be pretty melted at this point, but if not, pop it in for about another 10 to 20 more seconds. A few lumps like what you see here is totally fine. Pour in your color and flavorings. Like I mentioned earlier, I used vanilla extract and concentrated coffee. Really, I could have just used the coffee, but I kind of decided to use the coffee on a whim. The cake I was making was mocha inspired, so I thought it would be kind of nice to flavor the fondant accordingly. For me, this also had the added benefit of coloring the fondant. I was trying to color match it to the batch of buttercream icing that I made because of the design that I had in my head, but I actually ended up scrapping that design because it wasn't turning out correctly. So really, color didn't matter for my fondant. Anyway, stir in 4 cups of the powdered sugar, 2 cups at a time. Spread some butter on a clean working surface, dump 2 cups of powdered sugar down, making a well in the middle, and then pour out the melted marshmallows. Sprinkle a bit more sugar onto the top, butter your hands liberally, and start kneading the dough. It'll be quite loose at first, but just keep kneading and it'll come together. If it sticks to your hands, add more butter. If it starts to stick to the work surface, sprinkle some more sugar onto the work surface and knead it in. Knead the fondant until it's smooth and no longer sticky, adding sugar as needed. I think I added about 1 more cup or so as I was kneading. You can use it right away if your sugar was well sifted because you shouldn't have any lumps of sugar, but it's recommended to let it rest for a few hours, preferably overnight, because it'll help everything come together. I used mine right away because the birthday party I was going to was that day, so I had no time to spare. If you're going to let it rest, form the fondant into a ball, cover it with a layer of butter, and then wrap it tightly with saran wrap. Refrigerate for a few hours or overnight. Then you just need to let it get to room temperature, and then you can roll it out and cover some cakes. Measure your iced and cooled cake to see how big you need to roll your fondant out to. As I mentioned in the last video, I used an Italian meringue buttercream icing recipe from Yolanda of How to Cake It, and it's really good, so if you want that recipe, I'll leave a link down below. Anyway, sprinkle your work surface with powdered sugar, roll your fondant out to size, and then quickly move your fondant sheet to cover the cake. You need to work quickly because the fondant will want to sag down and crack. Smooth the top to remove air bubbles, and then when working down the side, smooth out any wrinkles. I didn't do a great job at avoiding wrinkles, which is a little bit harder to do with taller, thinner cakes, but it wasn't so bad once I covered the fondant with luster dust. Anyway, you can see around the top edge how I was a bit too slow, so it kind of cracked along the edge. I also had a few air bubbles. To fix those, take a sewing pin and poke the air bubble at an angle and then push the air out. If you just poke straight down, it'll leave a little hole on the surface, but if you poke at an angle, it helps to cover that hole up. Trim the fondant around the base of the cake. And then you're done. Finish decorating the cake however you want. I painted it with gold luster dust, piped some Italian meringue buttercream around the edge, sprinkled gold stars on top, and then topped it with a happy birthday bunting that I made and showed you how to make last week. You can also use the fondant to make other decorative things for cake. It's basically Play-Doh for cakes. I hope you all enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please leave a like. If you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. I post art videos every Tuesday and DIY videos every Thursday. Thank you to my patrons who helped me produce this video. If you are interested in becoming a patron, then I'll leave my Patreon link right here. You can go check it out. I post weekly videos, little vlogs where I talk about my projects and upcoming videos. I show you kind of like what I'm testing out at the moment. So if that kind of stuff interests you, or you just want to help support me make these videos, then go check it out. Of course, it's not required. I will be releasing these videos no matter what. Some people have asked me if I will be doing Hollow Week this year, and yes, I will. If you're new and you don't know what it is, Hollow Week is when I post, like, for the whole week before Halloween. I post every single day, different Halloween themed videos. I'll leave a link down below to my Hollow Week playlist last year, and just my Halloween stuff in general. Hollow Week started as a kind of way for me to celebrate like my anniversary on YouTube, because my very first video was a Halloween costume component, which I obviously posted a little bit before Halloween. So yeah, that's kind of my anniversary, so I like to celebrate it by doing like a crazy week of crafts for you guys that I hope you guys like. Unfortunately this year I'm not doing like a big costume, but I'll leave a link to my Halloween playlist so you guys can see what I've done in previous years. But yeah, I'll still be doing Hollow Week, just like decorative items and smaller costume components. You can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest, or Snapchat, and I'll leave the information to those down below. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next week. Hey guys! Welcome to, the third Patreon vlog, much like last